Hello everybody, this is Seth Loves Fizz and Bella 2003 and today it is Wednesday the 6th of September and today it is the moment that you've all been waiting for and exciting to hear this. Today the Tweenies have turned 24 years old. Woohoo! So the children from all over the world who have first watched the Tweenies at the beginning of late 1999. And all the children just love the Tweenies so much. That the Tweenies have done singing and dancing and they create art and they have fun playing together and go outside and go explore the outside world. And so it's very excited to hear that the Tweenies have turned 24, which is really awesome and exciting. So to celebrate the Tweenies being 24, today I'm going to be reading you a special Tweenies Annual event, and it is Tweenies Annual 2001. And it's got on the front of the cover, Jake, Doodles, Milo, and my two favourite Tweenie characters, Bella and Fizz. So this book came out 22 years ago. And here's the front, the spine, and the same cover on the back as well. Anyway, so this book is just marvellous. I mean, it's got all these contents. I mean, it's got all the stories and arts and crafts and song times and news time as well and some activities and, all that sort of stuff, isn't it? Anyways, no time to waste, so let's get started then, shall we? So we are starting with the Tweenies introducing themselves. And it says on the top, we're ready to play. And here it is.
Hi, I'm Bella.
Hey, I'm Milo.
Hello, I'm Fizz.
I'm Doodles.
And I'm Jake.
Really cool characters they are. Especially Bella and Fizz, because these two are my favourites. Anyways, as we go into this next page, and on the left side, it just shows the lyrics of the Tweenies theme song. Hey, hey, are you ready to play? It's time to come and play with the Tweenies. Hey, hey, what do you say? Come along and play with the Tweenies. And down below, it just shows you a wonderful picture of Bella, Milo, Fizz, and Jake. We're wearing sunglasses, and they're absolutely cool. And it just shows some contact information as well. And on the right side, it just shows all Tweenie Annual contents available. And at the top, it says, Tweenie clock. Where will it stop? And down the bottom, it features Bella pressing the Tweenie clock with Doodles. All right, so I think we should get started, shall we? Is everyone comfy out there? Well, I bet you are. I know you're very excited to see all the chapters. And I hope you guys at home will feel very happy about this. Anyways, let's get started then. So the first up is the song, If You're Happy and You Know It. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Flabberoonie!
If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, do all three. Now sing another verse and do what you do when you're happy.
Then it says, you must know this one, joining with us and do the actions. So yeah, that's a really lovely song of If You're Happy and You Know It. Anyway, so let's go on to the next page. And here's that little story. And it's called Teeny Tweenies. Now, if I read some mistakes, then I'll repeat it again. That's okay. Anyway, so let's get started. One day, the Tweenies were out exploring by the climbing frame. Let's look for a wiggly worm, ha ha ha, said Milo excitedly. Everyone has to look for a wiggly worm. So they all started looking for a worm.
If we find it, we'll just look at it. We won't touch it because little worms are much happier being left alone,
said Bella. Bella decided to go to the top of the climbing frame to look for a worm. There won't be any worms up there, Bella, cried Milo.
I know,
said Bella.
but from here I'll be able to see the whole garden. I'll be like a bird looking for a worm,
she added. Bella really did spot a worm right by Doodles' nose. Milo spotted it too and picked it up.
Milo, you're not supposed to touch the worm. Only look at it,
she said, thinking how scared the poor little worm would be.
If you were shrunk down as tiny as a worm, you wouldn't like it if a big monster picked you up,
explained Bella. Fizz agreed.
I think you would be scared, Milo. I dreamt I was shrunk once, so I know.
Really? Said Jake. Fizz explained what it had been like when she was tiny and told them that it was a bit scary. That's silly! I wouldn't be scared at all, said Milo, folding his arms. Jake asked how Fizz had shrunk, and she told them all how she had said a magic word in her dream. But she couldn't tell them the word, or she would get shrunk.
Would you really get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller?
Asked Jake. Fizz nodded. Milo thought shrinking sounded great. Let's all do it, he said. Fizz thought for a while, then said,
Okay, everybody. We have to hold hands, go around in a circle, and say the magic word, Doodlebug, 3 times.
And that's just what they did.
1, 2, 3. Doodlebug, Doodlebug, Doodlebug,
they cried as they went around in a circle. The Tweenies got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until they were no bigger than a tiny mouse. Uh-oh, what's going to happen next? Let's find out. Then they looked around them.
Wow-wee! Are we in the jungle?
Said Jake, looking at all the tall grass and trees. Then Milo spotted something. Look! There's a castle over there! He cried, pointing.
This jungle is strange,
said Bella. But Fizz knew where they were.
This isn't a jungle. We're in the garden,
she explained.
Our garden hasn't got a castle in it,
said Jake, looking very confused. Milo decided to get a closer look at the castle. Follow me, he said timidly. When they got to the castle, they tried to guess who lived inside. Jake thought it might be a big monster and got a bit scared.
I know what this is,
said Fizz.
If it isn't a fairy castle, it's our bucket from the sand castle. And that's our football,
she said, pointing to a football as big as a house. Wow! I could never kick that! Cried Milo.
Look at the flowers. They're as big as trees,
cried Bella.
We really have shrunk,
they all cried at once.
It feels funny down here. Everything looks enormous,
said Bella. She was right. The climbing frame was as big as a mountain. Hungaroony! cried Milo.
I think we're only as big as a wiggly worm,
said Jake, and decided that they should all look for the worm to say hello. Bella thought it was a great idea.
We're only small now, so we won't frighten him,
she said. But Milo wasn't so sure. In fact, he was a bit scared. I'll wait here while you look for him, he said. But he was even more scared on his own. Wait for me! He cried as the others headed off on their worm hunt. The teeny Tweenies didn't find the worm, but they did found something else. It was huge and hairy. It's a big hairy mountain, cried Milo. The mountain started to rumble.
It might be a volcano,
said Bella, taking a step back. No, it's a snuzzle monster. A big, hairy snuzzle monster. We'll have to fight him, cried Milo. But the others didn't like the idea of fighting.
I know, we could tickle him,
suggested Jake, and that's just what they did. The big hairy mound moved and started to come towards them.
It's Doodles,
cried Jake.
Doodles, it's us! We're down here!
Ooh, teeny Tweenies, muttered Doodles, and got even closer. We've got to get big again cried Milo. Quick, let's all say the magic word. They all grabbed each other and said the magic word as quickly as they could. Doodlebug, doodlebug, doodlebug! The teeny tweenies got bigger and bigger and bigger until they were back to their normal size. Whoa, whoa, now that's magic, said Doodles, looking amazed. Now I know what it feels like to be a little worm, said Milo. I'll never scare one again. And that's the end of the Teeny Tweenies. How do you like that story? Feel free to give a comment below. Okay, so now we're going to balloon faces. And here's all the tweenies in their balloons. There's a balloon Bella, a balloon Fizzy, a balloon Milo, a balloon Max, a balloon Judy, and balloon Jake. Yeah, it's pretty lovely, yeah. It's really easy to make your own Tweenies balloons. And there's Fizz, Bella, Jake, Milo, Max, and Judy inside their balloons. Yeah, it's pretty funny. You can make your own Tweenie balloons at home too. Alright, so next one is Tweenie Band.
Oh, we can play in the Tweenie Band, and this is the way we do it. Shake, bang, ting goes the Tweenie Band, and that's the way we do it.
Use your favourite colours to make the Tweenie Band as bright as possible. And there's Fizz, Milo, Jake and Bella with their own instruments. Although I haven't really coloured it in, but I'll have a go one day. And look at all the music notes around the Tweenies. Really cool, isn't it? Alright. And we're going to another Tweenie story. This time it is called
Doodman to the rescue!
Alright, so let's get started then.
No water! No water!
Cried Jake as he carried buckets of water from the sink. Judy looked very puzzled when she saw him. But Jake explained that he needed the water for pouring.
I see. Well, be careful and don't leave the tap running or we'll be flooded out,
said Judy.
I won't,
said Jake and got on with his pouring. But then he had a thought.
Did I turn the tap off? I think I did. I pulled the plug in so that I wouldn't waste any.
Then Jake started to imagine what it would be like if the playroom did get flooded.
The water would pour in and get deeper and deeper, even deeper than in the deep end of the swimming pool. It would fill the playroom. The water would rush around and swell here and swell there. It would be splashing around and pick up Milo in his chair. Doodles would still be asleep on his beanbag as it started to float away, and Bella would be stranded on the climbing frame.
Soon, the playroom was filling up with water.
Hold on, everybody! I'm coming to rescue you!
Cried Jake, jumping onto a squishy shape.
My squishy boat will pick you up and take you to safety.
He paddled along on his squishy boat and rescued Milo and Fizz, who jumped on board. Then they heard Bella calling from the climbing frame.
Help! Help! I'm all alone on this island. Is anyone going to rescue me? I'm coming, Bella. Hold on,
Cried Jake, paddling away. When they reached the climbing frame, they all hopped off the boat to join Bella. Jake told them all he was sorry for having left the tap running.
Oh, where are Max and Judy? They must be too busy to come and rescue us,
Sighed Bella.
We need to find a way of getting rid of all this water,
Said Milo.
The plug hole!
Cried Jake suddenly.
The water always runs down the plug hole when you take the plug out,
He added.
But the plug hole is way over there,
Sighed Fizz, pointing across the water.
This is a job for Dotman!
Cried Jake.
Don't go away, I'll be right back.
Dotman flew off towards the plug hole. He rushed into the playroom and dived into the water. The others waited for him on the climbing frame.
He's taking a long time,
Sighed Fizz.
Don't worry. If anyone can find the plug, it's Dotman,
Said Milo. All of a sudden, Dotman flew out of the water, holding the plug and chain in his hand.
Hooray!
Cried the others as the water gurgled away.
Well done, Dotman!
Cried Bella.
We all love Dotman,
Said Fizz.
Dotman, my hero,
Called Milo. Later, Jake was playing with the water and jug again when Judy walked by.
Judy!
Cried Jake excitedly.
We were looking for you. The playroom filled up with lots and lots of water. We wanted you to rescue us, but we couldn't find you, so I rescued everyone instead,
He said proudly.
Well done, Jake.
Laughed Judy.
You're a real hero.
And that's the end of Jake's Dotman adventure. Anyways, here's the next page. And it's a colouring in page. And it's Fizz's rainbow. Fizz and Doodles have spotted a magical rainbow. Use your brightest colours to finish the rainbow. Look at the key to find out which colours to use. So yeah, I've just only coloured in the rainbow, but I haven't coloured in Fizz and Doodles and all the play equipment. But I'll continue on a bit later. And here's all the colour answer key. 1 is red, 2 is orange, 3 is yellow, 4 is green, 5 is blue, 6 is purple, 7 is lavender. I hope you Tweenie fans do enjoy the annual 2001 book. But we've still got a lot of pages to go, so that's okay. Now it's a Tweenie song time, and it is I'm a Little Robot. Sing along with the Tweenies to the tune of I'm a Little Teapot. I'm a little robot, strong and bright. Here's my button, here's my light. If you wind me up, you'll see me walk. Push my buttons and I will talk. Okay. Now do the actions.
I'm a little robot, strong and bright. Stand very still and stiff. Imagine you were very shiny.
Here's my button, here's my light. Point to your buttons. If you wind me up, you'll see me walk. Walk keeping your arms and legs very stiff. Push my button, I will talk. Talk in a robotic voice. What will you say?
Lovely song, isn't it? Hope you guys you'll enjoy it. Alright, so we're still on live now, so that's good news. Now this next one is another colouring in page, and it is Milo's dragon. So to make Milo's fire-breathing dragon, you'll need a cardboard tube, egg box, green paint, coloured paper, glue, and a round-ended scissors. 1. Paint an egg box and a cardboard tube with your bright green paint. Stick a small box to the tube to make a head and fix it onto the body. Now cut out a tail, wings, and some scales, then glue them into place. That's number 2. Number 3. Cut out some flames, eyes, and ears from coloured paper to add the finishing touches to your dragon. Your fire-breathing dragon is now ready. Can you think of a name for your dragon? And there's
Milo!
Make a dragon really appear by colouring in all the spaces with dots in them. That sounds like fun. Alright, next page. And it is a spot the difference one, and it is fairy magic. And there's Fairy Bella, and there's Fizz and Jake on the picture. Bella has dropped her wand. Can you spot it somewhere in this picture? Looks like I found one. It's just behind that blue spade. And there's spot the difference. We might do a quick one, I reckon. I can see that Fizz has got her red bands on her hair. Sorry, red beads, I should say, sorry. And I can see a red bucket there. And this one has no shelves. And the Milo picture disappeared. And yeah, I'm just giving you a little example. It says Bella has waved her magic wand and lots of things in the playroom have changed. Look closely at this picture and see if you can find the magic changes. Alright, so let's go on to the next page. And it's another story time. And it is, Can I Live With You? Let's read it. This shell is too big and too heavy, moaned Betsy one afternoon. She had carried her shell from one end of the garden to the other, and she was exhausted. I need a new home, one that I don't have to carry around on my back, she decided, and off she trudged in search of a new home. A few hours later, she arrived at Wally Worm's house. Wally showed her his wormholes and told her how comfy and warm they were to live in. Can I live with you? She asked. Wally nodded and inched off into his wormhole. Betsy followed him, but as she went to squeeze into the tiny hole, she got stuck. This silly shell is always getting in the way, she cried. Wally pushed and puffed as he eased her out of the hole. You're too big for my wormholes, Betsy, he said, and disappeared back into his hole. Betsy sighed, but then she spotted a busy ant carrying a leaf. So she followed him until she reached his home. It was very hard to keep up with the ant. After all, she didn't have as many legs as he did. Excuse me, she said. Can I live with you? The ant looked at her and nodded. I live here, in this anthill, said the ant, pointing to a big mound of earth with his antennae. Now that does look cozy, said Betsy, and slid along to the entrance. She squeezed until she wiggled to get into the small anthill until, crash! The anthill came tumbling down around her. Betsy, with her big shell, was much too big for the fragile anthill. Whoops, she said, and quietly slid away before the ants could tell her off. She was looking over her shoulder to make sure the ants weren't chasing her. When she ran straight into something, "What on earth is this?" she cried, wiping sticky strands out of her eyes. But then a big hairy leg came towards her and she knew. Hello, Sid, she said to the spider. Sid smiled. What are you doing in my web, Betsy? He laughed. Betsy told him all about her search for a new home, and Sid suggested that she tried out his web for the night. Night-night, Sid, she said as she settled down in the web. That night, it rained and the wind blew. Poor Betsy was blown about the web, and when she woke up, she was soaking wet and all tangled up in the web. I'm sorry, Sid, but your web is just too uncomfortable. I'm moving out, moaned Betsy and wiggled off. What's that noise? Said Betsy as she slithered past the flower bed. Buzz, buzz, went the noise. Betsy looked up. A stripy bumblebee was busily buzzing about above her head. Excuse me? Excuse me, Mrs. Bumblebee? Can I live with you? She asked. Mrs. Bumblebee scratched her head.
If you like,
she buzzed and pointed to her house. It was a funny-looking thing hanging from a branch on a tree.
That's my beehive,
she said, and buzzed off into it. Betsy looked at the beehive swinging from the tree as the bees busily buzzed about it. Oh dear, that's very high up, she thought as she inched her way up the tree trunk. All of a sudden, her shell felt very heavy and she toppled off the trunk and hit the ground with a bump. Ouch, said Betsy, rubbing her head. Oh, this is no good, she sighed and rested against the tree. Are you okay? Asked a long, hairy green creature. Betsy rubbed her eyes. I'm fine, thank you. Then she looked at the caterpillar. Where do you live? She asked.
Why, I live right here underneath this leaf,
said the caterpillar, pointing at a big green leaf. That looks warm and dry, said Betsy. Can I live with you? She asked. The caterpillar nodded and went to bed. But to Betsy's surprise, the caterpillar slept underneath the leaf. She tried and tried to stay under the leaf, but her shell was just too heavy. She kept falling off the leaf and landing on the ground with a bump. That's it, she cried the next day. I've had enough, and I'm absolutely exhausted. Her cheeks were red with frustration. Have you found a new home yet? said the spider ask. No, I haven't, and I'm not going to either, snapped Betsy. Excuse me, sorry. I've stayed in lots of different homes, and I've decided something. My shell house is the best house ever. It keeps me dry. It protects me. It's very warm, and it's always nearby. With that, Betsy popped her head inside her shell and hung a sign outside. Do not disturb. So next time you see a snail in its shell, don't disturb it. It might be Betsy trying to get some sleep. And that's the story about Betsy. What do you think about Betsy? Let me know in the comment. Alright, now this next one is Home Sweet Home. And this is where all the pets and all different types of animals had found their homes. Animals like to make themselves comfortable in their homes, just like you do. Have a look at these pictures to see how some creatures keep themselves warm and happy. Write over the dotty letters to find out what they are called. These animals look very snug as they have a nice long sleep. Their home is called a burrow. This is Millie and Toby. They share a special basket to rest and sleep in. Oh, look at all these animals asleep. Oh, this is so cute. Oh. Aren't they cute? Look at all the rabbits. Look at Millie and Toby. Aren't they sweet? This furry rodent has made a nice warm nest to live in. Look at him peeking out. Can you see that mouse peeking out? Peekaboo! This slimy, slivery creature carries its home on its back. It's a shell which helps to protect it. Do you think it's Betsy? Well, to myself, I don't think it's Betsy. Because it's a, real life snail. What a nice big comfortable cushion this dog has to sleep on. Doesn't he look familiar? Why, it's only Doodles. Comfy. Whoa. So that is good to keep your pets nice and snug. So dogs have beds, and those other animals have their burrow. And that snail is carrying its shell on its back, which helps protect it. And now it is a, I think this is another song, and it's called Monster. Have you seen my monster? He's not hard that to see. He's big and he's blue, the size of a tree.
He shambles and scrambles. He must have been past. You couldn't have missed him. He doesn't move fast.
He's shaggy and baggy and not very neat. He's bumpy and lumpy, especially his feet. He roars and he snores, and he's dripping with goo. He grumbles and rumbles, and he's right behind you.
They're telling everyone about monsters. Yeah. What are we nearly? Oh, we're nearly 44 minutes in that, Phil. That's alright. Hopefully it won't be that long. And there's another colouring in book called On the Move. The Tweenies are out and about on the move. Where do you think they are going? Colour them in, then tell a story about the pictures. And there's Bella, Fizz, Milo and Jake just riding in their pretend car. And there's the Tweenies themselves, and Doodles are ready to go out in the outdoor world. Let's go to the next one. And it's another Tweenie stories, which features the Tweenies in the animation of themselves. And the story is called The Starship Tweenie. And let's get started.
Spice-a-rooney!
Cried Milo one day.
I'd love to go into space and meet lots of little alien spacemen.
Milo giggled and shook his arms. Then He spoke in a silly alien voice.
Hello, I am a friendly alien!
He gargled. Fizz looked dreamy.
Oh, I'd love to go and see all the other planets and stars. Oh, space is so beautiful.
She sighed. Jake looked very confused.
I plant it,
He said.
What do you want to plant?
Fizz shook her head.
No, planets, not plants, Jake. Planets are huge balls which float in space.
She explained.
You know what space is, don't you, Jakey?
Asked Bella. Jake thought he knew what space was.
When we go shopping, my mum always says we have to look for a space. And when we found a space, we put the car in it. But I've never seen any planets in them.
He looked very confused. So Judy explained. She picked up a ball and held it in front of her.
We live on a big planet called Earth, which is like a huge ball. All around this ball is space, which goes on and on and on. In all that space, there are lots of other planets and millions of stars.
She told them.
I love all the different colours of the planets. Red, yellow, blue,
Said Bella. Then she had an idea.
Let's make our own solar system of planets.
She suggested. And so they did. Bella, Milo and Fizz painted some big circles of card, and Jake made a rocket from cardboard. Boxes, chips, and 4 little yogurt pots. Bella stood back to admire their work.
We've made our own solar system of planets.
She said.
Let's look for aliens!
Cried Milo. Jake whooshed his rocket through the planets.
I am Captain Jake in the starship Tweenie.
He cried. Soon the rocket was whizzing through space. These are the adventures of Captain Jake and his brave crew as they travelled through space looking for new planets, new stars and new people, said a voice. The Tweenies were inside their own big spaceship, exploring outer space.
Well, tell me, Mr. Milo, where are we now?
Asked Captain Jake.
We are entering a new solar system, Captain,
Said Milo. Suddenly, Fizz saw something. 5 big planets were floating on a big screen in front of them.
Look! There are some new planets. They are all different patterns and colours, Captain.
Cried Fizz.
That one's checkered and that one's all speckly. How strange,
Said Captain Jake, looking at the planets. What's going to happen next? Well, let's find out. Then Fizz noticed something.
Captain, we are receiving a signal. Someone needs help.
A picture appeared on the big screen. 5 funny-looking aliens.
Help! Help!
They were saying.
aliens?
cried Milo.
It seems they need help,
said Bella. Captain Jake agreed and told Bella to whoosh him down there. He went and stood on a special circle as Bella pushed a button, and he disappeared. A few seconds later, he whooshed onto the planet with the aliens.
Thank goodness you're here,
said the spotty alien.
We thought we'd be stuck here forever. Our rocket is broken and we have no way of getting home,
added the stripy alien.
Do not fear, Captain Jake is here,
said Jake. Then he contacted Bella.
6 to whoosh aboard,
he said, as they all vanished and reappeared on board the spaceship. Back on board, Captain Jake told Fizz to set a return course to the new planets. The speckly planet appeared on the screen.
That's Planet Speckly. That's where I live,
said the speckly alien. You know, sometimes I get confused with those words, so I hope you guys don't mind me. The Tweenies sang a song as each alien was whooshed back to its planet.
5 little men on the starship Tweenie needed to get back home. We looked left and right for a planet that was right, and 1 man went back home. Look, my planet! It matches me!
Cried the checkered alien as he whooshed back to his planet. Soon, the aliens had all whooshed home to their planets.
It seems we have successfully returned the aliens to their natural habitat,
said Mr. Milo.
Pardon?
Said Captain Jake, looking confused. Bella explained.
He means we did it!
She cried.
Hooray!
Cried the others. Fizz sighed.
It must be so nice for them to be back home,
she said.
Captain Jake, could I set a return course for our home?
Asked Bella. Captain Jake nodded.
Make it so,
he said, as the rocket zoomed home. And that is the story of the Starship Tweenie. Let's go to the next page and find out what's next. And here's all the little activities, which are lost in space. Follow each line with your finger to help the Tweenies find their way to some new planets. Doodles has discovered some aliens. One of them is different. Draw a ring around the odd one out. Join up the dots to see some strange aliens from another planet. And then down here it says, match up the planets which are the same. Well, I haven't done this activity before, but I'll give it a go one day. Let's go to the next page and find out. And here's a song time. It's called Incy Wincy Spider.
Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the water spout. Out came the rain and washed poor Incy out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the spout again. Now do the actions. Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the water spout. Out came the rain and washed poor Incy out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the spout again.
A lovely song about Incy Wincy. Yeah. And there's that cheeky little spider in that picture. Yeah. Are you guys still enjoying this special Tweenies anniversary? Well, you can let me know in the comments if you like. Don't worry, we're not far from the end. This next one's another arts and crafts, and it is Make Jake Spiders. To make Jake's springy spiders, you will need a round piece of coloured paper or card, white paper, elastic or cotton, round-ended scissors, and sticky tape. Cut into the middle of the circle and overlap the two edges. Then stick them together to make a shallow cone shape. Fold the cone in half, then again and again. Draw an arrow shape onto the card and cut out around the arrow, just as Haley is doing. Open up the card and your spider is almost ready. Just bend the legs at the knees. And stick on two big eyes. Attach a piece of elastic and watch your spider go. Boing!
I've made my own Incy Wincy Spider.
And that's how you make Jake's spider. Alright, let's go to the next page. And this one's a colouring in book. Tangled Tweenies. Look how the Tweenies are tangled up. Milo's woolly jumper is unravelling. Colour the picture and add some wool to the tangled Tweenies. Now, do you think you guys will understand if I made some mistakes? Do you mind? Of course you don't mind. Now we're going to the next game, Caterpillars and Ladders. Play this great up and down game with a friend. Take it in turns to throw a dice and move your counter across the board. Buttons make great counters. If you land on a ladder, climb up. But if you land on the end of a caterpillar, down you go. And there's the Tweenies and Doodles on that Snakes and Ladders board. So Jake and Milo are at the bottom. Doodles is nearly at the top. And so is Bella. And Fizz is on the finish mark. Alright, next page. And here's another Tweenie story. And this one is called Milo the Clown. Here it is. Once upon a time, there was a wonderful circus. There was a ringmaster with a big top hat called Doodles. There was a beautiful dancer called Fizz. And there was the greatest magician in the world. The great Jake Nando.
Whoosh, ha ha! Kazoom, ha ha ha! Whoosh!
Said Jake as he pulled a rabbit out of his hat. There was Bella blowing the horns. Ladies and gentlemen, be delighted by the beauty of Bella! Cried Doodles as everyone cheered. Soon it was time to announce Milo the Clown. Everyone loved clowns, and the audience couldn't wait to see him. But Milo was very nervous. He had practiced and practiced at being funny. But no matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't get it right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Milo the Clown. Milo the Clown, said Doodles. The audience clapped and cheered, and waited, and waited, and waited. Milo was sitting in his dressing room, looking very sad. He tried to juggle the balls and balance plates on a stick, but he just couldn't get it right. Oh, it's no good. I can't do any of these clown tricks. What's the use of a clown who can't do any of the things clowns do? Oh, my jokes aren't funny, and my tricks are terrible. I can't juggle or tumble. The audience will grumble, and I've got no smile. Milo looked sadly into the mirror at his reflection. Jake went to find Milo.
Everyone is looking for you, Milo. You've got to go and perform your clowny things.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jake Nando. I just can't do my tricks. When I try, they all go wrong. If I juggle balls or spin plates, they just fall and break. Look, said Milo, showing Jake his tricks. Jake started to laugh and laugh and laugh.
Oh, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen,
said Jake. Milo thought for a while, then said, Well, if I do things my way, maybe I will be funny, he said as a smile crept over his face. Meanwhile, Doodles was trying to keep the audience happy. Phew-wee, he said in relief as Milo appeared. Everyone started to cheer very loudly. Milo spun the plates, and as they fell to the ground, the audience laughed more and more. He tried to juggle the balls, but got in a muddle. He got into his clown's car, and the doors and the wheels fell off. Milo couldn't believe it. People were cheering and laughing. They liked him.
Oh, you're the best clown ever, Milo,
said Jake, and the audience definitely agreed. What do you think of Milo the Clown? And that was the story of Milo the Clown. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So now we're just into the hour of filming, but that's okay. We'll have it finished in no time. We've got not a lot of pages to go. We've got Busy Big Top up next. The circus has come to town. Look carefully at the picture, then answer the questions below. One of the clowns is throwing a custard pie. True or false? What colour is the hoop? The juggler is juggling 5 Skittles. True or false? And there's some other questions down there, including, how many hats can you find? How many glasses is the tightrope walker carrying? What is in the magician's hat? Now make up a story about a big top show. Alright, next page. Let's clown around. All you need now, make these great Tweenie clown hats and cakes for your next party. For the hats, you will need, coloured paper, round-ended scissors, safe glue, coloured stickers, pens, and elastic. 1. Cut a semicircle from a piece of colourful card. 2. Roll the paper into a cone. Shape and glue the edge down. Decorate your hat with stickers and coloured pens. Ask a grown-up to attach a piece of elastic to the bottom of the hat. Clown-a-rooney! Now you're ready to party like the Tweenies. Why not make some clown cakes for your party? Simply decorate some fairy cakes with icing sugar, icing pens, and sweets. And here's another song time. The Wheels on the Bus. Let's sing it together.
The wheels on the bus go round and round,
Round and round,
round and round. The
wheels on the bus go
round and round all day long. The Tweenies on the bus go chatter, 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 chatter. The Tweenies on the bus go chitter, chatter, chatter all day long. The bottoms on the bus go bounce, 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 bounce. The bottoms of the bus go bounce, bounce, bounce all day long. The bell on the bus go ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling. The bell on the bus go ding-a-ling-a-ling all day long.
Sit down and take a ride on the Tweenie bus. Where will it stop? Do the actions too. First the wheels, then bounce up and down in your seat, then chatter away, and finally ring the bell. Ding ding! Alright, next page. Bone Zone. Doodles has forgotten where he hid his bones. There are 10 bones in the picture. Well, not including the one in his mouth. Can you find them all for him? It seems like a pretty nice game to find. Yeah, a pretty nice game to find all of Doodles' bones. They come all different colours and sizes, alright? I'm having so much fun. Do you? I love reading stories to all you people. Alright, I hope you Tweenie fans still enjoy it. And it's now time for news time. Wow, we've done lots of things in our annual. How much can you remember? How many colours were there in Fizz's rainbow? In the story about Betsy the snail, where did she finally decide to live? Can you describe the big blue monster from the poem? In the caterpillars and ladders game, which did you go up and which did you go down? How many bones was Doodles looking for in the bone zone? Have you seen my rain hat? I left it somewhere in the annual. Can you spot it on any page? Have a look for it. What happened to Incy Wincy Spider in the nursery rhyme? And there's the Tweenies all together. And now we're up to the last one for the 2001 annual book, The Book Chase. It's story time for the Tweenies. Throw a dice and hop from book to book. If you land on an open book, follow the instructions. The first player is to reach the finish is the winner. What adventures will you go on? If you landed on a 2, it says, stop to rescue Princess Bella in the tower. Miss a go. When you landed on a 5, it says, tell a story about Princess Bella. Move on 4 spaces. If you landed on an 8, it says, Jake is exploring in the jungle. Point to the tiger and have another go. If you landed on a 12, tell a short story about Jake's jungle adventure. Move on 2 spaces. When you landed on a 15, it says, zoom to the moon with Milo. Move ahead 3 spaces. If you landed on a 19, it says, tell a short story about Milo's space adventure. Have another go. And if you landed on a 22, it says, Fizz is a famous ballerina. Twirl around 3 times and have another go. And that, of course, is Book Chase. And of course, that is the end of the Tweenies Annual 2001 book. Yeah, so that was a nice little movie, wasn't it? Anyways, I would like to thank all my Tweenies fans for watching this very special Tweenies anniversary, which today the Tweenies have turned 24. And I would like to say thank you so much for watching this, you guys. And this has made my day. And I promise I will get some more Tweenie annual books very soon. And you wouldn't want to miss out. Anyways, this Saturday we'll continue with my Seth story time. And we're still going on with Thomas the Tank Engine. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, you guys. And I just can't stop saying those nice words. Yeah, although I haven't really watched the Tweenies when I was a little kid, but I discovered it on YouTube like a year ago. And it's a really cool little kids British TV show. Yeah. And Bella and Fizz are always my Tweenies character. These two are my favourites. Sorry guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Seth Loves Fizz and Bella 2003. Don't forget to give me likes, turn on notification, give me lots of positive feedbacks, and don't you steal my videos. And you can request me some more videos as well. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this special Tweenies anniversary. And I hope I'm looking forward to making some more videos very soon. So, see you later guys. Bye.